It's Wednesday, November 17th. I'm Rim.
I'm Scott.
And this is Geeknights. Tonight, Looney Tunes.
Let's do this.
2010.
No, you jerk.
I point out the listeners want it.
They just want whatever I don't want.
But they want it nonetheless.
I should have acted like, oh man, that was awesome how you did the date, and then you would have stopped doing it.
So is it awesome? Should I keep doing it?
No.
Well.
Because now the cat's already out of the bag, so whichever way I go, it won't work. You know what I want. You know, I've revealed my true desires. Therefore, there is no possible way I can conceal them again.
See, now the important thing is that I win, but you forget. You have to be a master of instilling doubt when there is no possible doubt. This is the art of the person who ran the RIT Anime Club, where when a show was accidentally spoiled for someone, you had to be able to instill doubt to where they wouldn't know if it was spoiled or not.
Yes, that is. Thing is, it depends on the specific thing, right? So at this point, there is no way, nothing that could possibly be said that would convince you that I actually...
Are you sure? I mean, I could probably instill doubt in most of my most closely held ideals if I really needed to.
Yeah, but it's like you've already told someone, you ranted about it. How could you possibly convince someone that you changed your mind so suddenly? You know, like maybe a year from now, I could be like, yeah, you know, looking back, adding that year was actually a good idea.
See, now here's why it doesn't work on me, because if you said that, I'd say, awesome, cool, we'll keep doing it. And if you say no, I'll say, I'm the audio editor, we'll keep doing it.
Yeah, whatever.
Anyway.
So I went to this conference today, which sucked. I don't really want to talk about it.
99, for all you guys who go to anime cons and nerd cons and PAX and everything, PAX is greater than all cons. And, like, anime cons are greater than all cons that aren't PAX.
I mean, it was Monday, Tuesday, and today, right? Today was the workshop day, and there were good parts and bad parts. And it apparently the workshop that I was not in was probably a better workshop, judging by the noises that were coming out of that room.
Wow, that's like you're at an anime con. You're watching some dumb panel on, like, I don't know, Italia crossplay making out, and across the hall you just hear people screaming as Go-Go 13 shoots people.
And you can't go over there.
Yeah, there's no way
At
over.
Anime Con, you can switch hallways, but when you signed up for a specific workshop, you can't switch. The people sitting behind me...
workshop. So that workshop, they've got sniper rifles, and you're taking turns doing what Go-Go does.
Well, it was also interesting how, like, there were people there who obviously came from far... I really feel bad for anyone who came from far away, because it was only good for us, because the venue for the one part was actually right near our office, and the venue for the workshops was, you know, also pretty close. There are people who were in there with their luggage, and they picked it up and left, like, in the middle of the day. Some people left, like, after the first break. They were like, oh, man, fuck this. And they bolted at the first chance. You know, they just did not return.
I found in my life that almost every conference or convention I ever attend, I feel bad for the people who came that had to pay and travel to get there.
Yeah, I mean, my work paid, which is the only...
Yeah, I would not go to SIFMA if I had to pay money to go to SIFMA.
Yeah, right.
Of course, instead, SIFMA pays me.
The thing is, doesn't SIFMA have, like, it's the kind of thing where you walk around, it's like a trade show, right? You walk around to booths.
No, it also has workshops and lectures.
Yeah, this was literally, right? Basically, the first 2 days were 2 panel rooms. Well, actually 2 theaters, right? And very limited programming in the second theater. And you basically had to choose between one of the, you know, every slot you either choose one theater or the other. And that was pretty much it. And in terms of booths, there was like 5 little stands with PR people. I didn't even talk to them. Right? And there weren't even booths. It was just like a guy at a table with a laptop, you know, trying to sell his shtick.
I guess as much as we complain about,
and then on the third day was a
cons.
workshop all day, and you had to pick which one beforehand. And the thing is, everyone sort of knew who the people running the workshops are, but I didn't know who they were, so I ended up picking a not good one just based on the title. And it wasn't even a workshop. It was basically an all-day PowerPoint. And it's like the other people had a workshop where they fucking made something, and I was like, God damn it, this isn't a workshop.
Hey, that was the one, at least at Kineticon, we only had like 2 or 3 workshops that weren't actually workshops.
Yeah, the thing is, these are all internet-y people, so I'm going to write a blog post about how it's terrible.
And they're all going to see it.
There were good parts, right? Obviously, the other workshop was probably good. I didn't go to, right? And obviously, there were parts that I didn't like because I'm mostly a programmer, and it was obviously designer. It was a web design thing primarily, so a lot of it I was just like, oh, God, right? And, so part of it was me. And there were some good talks. I went to a bunch of the talks Monday and Tuesday, and some were good. But some, and even the ones that were maybe I didn't like, they were still well presented. Like they had speaking skills and presentation skills. It's just they didn't actually present any useful information.
Wow, that's the opposite.
They were basically pep talks.
That's the opposite of what I'm usually running into. Like, look at PAX, where like some video game programmer people, they have a lot of interesting stuff to say. They just don't know how to speak in public.
No, there were these guys. There were these designers, and they had their presentations were like amazing because they're designers, right? And the things their presentation skills were off the charts, right? They were enthusiastic, and they weren't only one person showed any nervousness. And they were exciting and energetic and like, oh, go get him, right? But all they were saying was like, I'm not even a designer, right? I'm a programmer. And they were saying the same stuff like, oh, man, look at Apple and how their design is so awesome. And, you'd know that something is right when you have nothing left to take away. It's like, gee, I've never heard that quote before. Why don't you devote another 5 minutes to it, right? They didn't actually, theoretically, the room was supposed to be full of web designers, right? Why don't you, I guess this is the kind of stuff that's going to be in the blog post, right? I don't want to waste it all now. But, the primary thing that bothered me above all other complaints is that, listen, this is a conference of designers, right? You have to assume that everyone who's coming is already a designer. These are not nubs. These are not people who've never designed a day in their lives.
It's like, when we go to PAX, we do a lecture on, game theory. We assume you've played some goddamn games.
Right. You have to assume that...
We're not like, gaming began in the 5th century.
You assume that the people in the audience have some of them probably have masters or degrees in design, right? So telling them this nothing stuff or just a pep talk that's really energetic is not worth the price that they or their employers paid for them to show up, right? So, what you need to do is you need to actually give us something of actual substance.
So,
right?
Scott, I've been to one
we do not know already
technology convention my entire life that met that criteria. PenguinCon. The second PenguinCon in Novi, Michigan. That was the best technology convention I've ever attended.
I agree.
We should start speaking at tech conventions, I guess.
I think the thing is, when it comes to tech meetups, though, the ones that I like the most, the ones that I've been to, right, are these little things in the city we go to, right, where everyone says stuff to everyone. It's like, and it's just the networking, right?
Or
it's
like, or
some people
even like open everything, where it's just smart people talking.
That's what I'm talking about, right? Is the it's something like what I went to. People might show up for the networking, but it's like, why even have the talking? Just have the networking and that's it. Just have like a meetup. Right? Or you look at something like PyCon, right? You go to PyCon, which is the Python conference, usually in Europe. And while there are talks and lightning rounds and all these sorts of things, there's also people coding. They do stuff there, right? It's the equivalent of like tabletop at PAX is coding and actually making stuff at PyCon, right?
So it's desktop.
So it's, right? But there was no designing going on. At least I think there was in the other workshop, but not in mine.
See, that other workshop, that's where everything was.
I know, but that was only 1 out of 3 days, right? So, while there was good stuff that I was missing, and it was like there were problems with this thing, and if I had paid for it with my own money or traveled a great distance, I would have been very upset.
What's sad is I can still say everything that you said, just change some of the proper nouns about many of the anime and gaming cons I've attended in my life.
What? Well, you can't say that there's really good presenters with useful information.
There are. As I will point out, Daryl Surratt, Jared Rathkull.
They have useful information.
Clarissa, you, me, Mike Toole.
We all have useful information. What are you talking about? Well, actually, no, except for you and me. We don't have useful information.
Nah.
But all the other people do.
I think it was Luke who said we have an amazing ability in panel rooms to bowl people over, and whether they agree with us or not, they feel like they should by the end, even if we're wrong.
But we're actually giving information, or at least making a case. A lot of the talks I went to are pretty much just like, rah design. Oh, and every single thing I went to, there was IE6 hating. It's like that's all web designers could talk about all day long. All 3 days was we hate IE6, we hate IE6, we hate IE6. It's like we know everyone here hates IE6. We don't need to keep saying it 1,000 times. I hate it too. You hate it. We all hate it. Shut up. You don't need to say it in every single panel and every single workshop every 10 minutes. Oh, but what about IE6? Oh, IE6 sucks. Oh, it ruins my day. Hey, what's the worst thing about your job? IE6.
This reminds me of way back we were at an Otakon, and we're at the feedback ceremony, and one by one, everyone comes up, and they're like, I've been coming to Otakon for 15 years, and I've been coming to Otakon for 11 years, and this is my 20th Otakon, and our friend Pete goes up there, and he's like, I've been coming to Otakon for 500 years, and I feel like if you were talking at that conference, you should be like, yeah, Mosaic. That fucker.
They talked about Mosaic. But they talked about it, as like a historical thing. The way when we talk about something, we'll start with the oldest thing to be historical and show you a progression. They started at Mosaic. Whenever they needed to talk about progression, they started with Mosaic. I don't know why they didn't start with links.
At a web conference where everyone probably already knew. Anyway.
Exactly.
I don't think the listeners on Wednesday night care much about that.
No, that's just what bothered me today.
Nah.
But anyway, oh, wow, that was a tangent, actually, because what I really wanted to talk about was that today, when I was at the workshops on 59th and Lexington, across the street...
Holy shit, there's actually a link here? This is actually relevant?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Across the street from the workshops was the Argosy Gallery, right? Do you know what this is?
I have no idea what the Argosy Gallery is.
It is a store, right, which sells
Argosy?
Books, prints, paintings, and maps, right? I went in there... They had books from, like, the 15th century just on the shelf. I was like, what the fuck? It's like, this place should be a museum, but it's a store.
There's a place like that.
The newest book.
Wait. You were on 59th Street? I think I know where you were. I think I've been there.
It's this place.
Did this place also have Greek pottery?
No.
Okay, there's another place.
Here, this is the place on Street View. See it?
Okay, there's another place on 59th Street that sells actual Greek pottery.
Oh my God, I gotta go there.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have to go to this place.
I guess technically, there is pottery from Greece in the 70s.
But this Argosy place, right, not only were they selling, like, books, right, and apparently the newest books they had were, like, as old as the books that are on, like, my grandma's shelf. That was the newest books they had, were, like, 80s books, right? But they had stuff there like, yeah, here's a letter from the desk of FDR's secretary in a plastic sleeve for $35. And it's just like, it's just sitting there. It's like, holy,
That's not that much money.
No, but I'm saying is like, they got that kind of stuff is like just all over the place.
I should get something weird like that and just leave it out.
But yeah, we had to go to this place. You got to see it. And it's weird because this building has many floors, right? And it actually uses all the floors. It's not, and they have a really old elevator to go up.
Oh, so this isn't actually linked to anime, manga, or comics?
No.
Oh, I thought that's it.
It was just, that was the thing I actually wanted to talk about in my opening bit, but I forgot because I started by saying I was at a workshop and across the street was the thing, but I got stuck on the workshop.
Because the workshop was...
It took a while to get across the street.
Yeah. So there's a little bit of anime news, but I do want to... I have two Geek Bite points to make. Point the first... When we reviewed Eden of the East, Scott had seen it all, and I had seen all but the last 2 episodes.
Now, you've seen the last 2 episodes?
Yeah.
Now.
What the fuck? That was the most disappointing show I've ever seen. Because shows that are worse, at least are not disappointing.
Yeah, basically what
Why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you warn me? You were like, yeah, it was a B anime, it was okay. You were going along with... No! Fuck that show!
No, really?
That end was, like... It was a B anime with a B end, but it could have been an A anime. That's worse than just being a B anime.
Oh, you think so?
That you could have been an A and you weren't because Kamiyama just apparently is only good when he takes other people's works and reimagines them as opposed to writing his own work completely.
The situation is that you got the beginning is so promising, right? And the end does not live up to the promise, right? But it's not a bad end. It just doesn't live up to the promise. That's what.
Here's why.
If it had lived up, it would have been A. So because it didn't live up, it was B.
Here's why it's a bad ending. I'm not going to talk about how the whole all the things I already talked about on the show. Bad reason number 1: they did the same bullshit that Gundam Seed did, where they unkill a character for no reason except fan service. They unkilled a character and they show him to you for 2 seconds to be like, check it out, not dead. Moving on.
All right.
That was BS. 2, the end didn't make sense. That none of that would have worked and nothing was resolved. Like nothing was resolved.
I think the thing is that there was so much that was unresolved.
But no, the end. The problem is the end was so stylistically beautiful. Like it felt like the end of Standalone Complex. Except imagine if the end of Standalone Complex didn't resolve anything at all.
Yeah.
Fuck that show. That was the most disappointing anime I've seen in a decade.
I think it's like a Death Note situation, right? People hate the second half of Death Note. At least
Nah,
some people do, right? But but really, if that second half of Death Note is actually good, it's just the first half is great. So when you're and they're in the same work with the same title, right? You go, oh man, this is terrible because you get your reference point is shifted, right?
See, now in this case though,
if the second half of Death Note was its own manga on its own, people wouldn't be like hating on it so much. It would just be
first half of Death Note was an A and the second half was a B. This was a B show that the first 3 episodes were A and the entire second half of the show was C. So it averaged out to a B. That's way different from like Scrap Princess, which was just a standard generic B anime
the thing
all the way
is,
through.
I will actually, in my my personal taste, I will take that over these shows that are C or even F and then become A at the very end. Fuck that.
Go.
I am not sitting through, right? Because if it's good, at least in the beginning, and turns to crap, that's okay.
I should have stopped because I remember.
It's like I got my goodness, and that goodness is like coal in the engine that will power me through, and I can just sort of slide down the bad parts if I get to as long as it's not terrible for a very long time. Like if it was many episodes, like let's say it was 50 episodes and it gets bad at episode 10, I'll just stop watching.
Well, this show did, like Noir did this too. The first episode of Noir was one of the most awesome and promising things I'd seen in a long time.
Yeah, Noir is the perfect example of gets bad like episode 5, 6, right? And
that show was like A, B, C, F, nuns with guns.
It's like if it's bad from the beginning. I mean, if it's good from the beginning, I can watch it, and I'm watching good stuff, so what do I care?
It was dot hack. Episode 1, A. Episode 2, B. Episode 3 through the end, blah, blah, blah. Key over the twilight.
So if it gets bad, I can just stop watching and know that it's just bad, right? And I've still watched, I only watched good parts, so I'm safe. This show was so short that I was able to make it to the end. But if a show is bad and there's a promise of being good, that means there's a chance I might be slogging through shit, and at the other end, more shit. So you can't, right? So in that case, right, it's like, the payoff, you're basically risking a payoff and watching a ton of shit. And when it's good at the beginning, it doesn't matter if it turns to shit because you can stop watching and you never have to watch the shit.
It's just there's the difference. Like we always say, like A anime, B anime, C anime, but really B anime are in 2 classes. There's the B anime that's consistently B, maybe with some peaks, some A episodes, some C episodes. And there's the B anime like Eden of the East that's only B because the first episode A balances out the E's at the end.
E's, whoa.
Nah, not quite an E.
I think they're like C's.
It was a solid C at the end.
Yeah.
I mean, at least Gankutsuo had the good graces to be really awesome until the end and then just fuck up just the end, as opposed to the long, slow peter out that Eden of the East had.
Yeah.
But Last Exile, same thing.
Eden of the East wasn't that long, which helped it out.
True. Last Exile did that too. It was awesome, and then the very end was just kind of like, what? And notice how that show also unkilled someone for no reason.
Yeah, thing is, Last Exile was good right up into the final episode, which didn't resolve enough, climactically enough.
Yep, and also unkilled people and killed people stupidly.
Yeah, so.
Anyway, so I
feel... news. Let's do news.
I got one more thing to say, another Geek Bite.
All right.
I'm rewatching Trigun.
Okay.
It's a good show.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
However, I had not seen Trigun since we were freshmen at RIT.
I've seen it more recently, but even so, it's been a while, but I watched it many times at the time I did watch it.
So what I want to say is that it's a good show, but I don't know if I still put it in A category.
Yeah.
I think it's B+.
It was always at the bottom of the A category.
Yeah, it was. But watching it again, it's interesting how I remember I'd seen Trigun before I saw Cowboy Bebop all the way through. I think that is the primary reason why I held it in such high esteem. The only reason I bring this up, it's still a good show. I got to finish. We're about halfway through. We just got to the episode with the Cyclops. I really like her. But I think this is the first time I've had a show. Usually, I like Ava. I'm like, oh, I like that show as a kid, but maybe it's not good now. Then I watch, I'm like, oh, that show's brilliant.
Yep.
Every show I've rewatched until now, I've been like, yes, in fact, not only is it brilliant, it's more brilliant than I realized.
Like Evangelion was way more brilliant than I remember.
Or even Irresponsible Captain Tyler. Like that is in my top 3 right now as great. Yeah, you didn't finish it.
I don't put it up there.
If you watched it all the way through?
I watched enough.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did.
Anyway, Trigun A-, B+. We'll see how it goes. Because I forgot how long the kind of Tezuka-style, non-sequitur, crazy characters always going off-model beginning was.
Yeah. Well, there's also, there's a whole bunch of episodes really in the middle where it's nothing but go to a new town, a new bad guy.
Of course, then you get to Dynamite Neon.
That's really
really into Dynamite Neon.
That's really just a two-parter with a bad guy.
Yeah, but he was the great bad guy.
I mean, they're all great bad guys. That's the thing. Like the sniper, every bad guy's great. It's just mostly go to town bad guy, go to town bad guy, slowly reveal something's going on.
We'll see though, because I have watching it again. I'm remembering that you don't know, what the show is until near the end.
Yep.
So, and I've never rewatched it.
Episode 17, I believe.
Yep, that's the one where we stopped the show. We're like, did you download the wrong fan sub?
Exactly. I believe that is the episode where it actually, turns around. But episode 13 is actually when he goes crazy. But like,
yep, with that's the one where people actually die.
That's like the demon episode.
Yep.
Right? Yeah.
Diablo.
El Diablo.
So we'll see. I mean, the other thing is, I've just gotten to the point where I remember the show getting way dark and way awesome. So it might still be an A-, but it might be a B+. I don't know.
Right.
We'll see. In anime news, very briefly, Summer Wars is one of my favorite anime movies, just because it was great. King Cosmo's the man. So it's up for the Oscar. I mean, Ponyo didn't win the Oscar last year, but it was nominated.
There's no way it's winning.
So
not a chance. If it wins, I will bet money it will not win.
It's only up against, among other movies, How to Train Your Dragon, Despicable Me, the Owl movies, Toy Story 3.
Toy Story 3 already won.
Probably.
It's already Shinderu. It's already over. I haven't even seen it, but I can guarantee I'm not even a movie person. At least not nearly as much as many other people in the world. It's Toy Story 3 is a lock, right? For that category, there's no way the stupid owls are winning. I don't even know why the owls are in there, right?
If Toy Story 3 was not in the running, I would guess that How to Train Your Dragon would win.
Yeah, but I mean, while Summer Wars is great, there's no way it's gonna beat those, right?
Even though
it's pretty. I mean, it's probably actually, like Toy Story 3 is obviously the winner. I mean, Summer Wars is right up under it, but there's no way it can get up to that next level.
Well, Summer Wars has 7 of those little leaf things on the poster.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It deserves even more, but it's not Toy Story 3. There's no way it can't win. There's no chance. That's like, oh man, who's gonna
win, the AE86 or the AE85?
No, it's more like, all right, Rim, who are you putting in the ring? And it's like, I'm putting in Mike Tyson. Oh shit, there's no way he's gonna lose. Yeah,
Glass Joe.
Too bad I got Muhammad Ali. Oh, well then, right? so Toy Story 3 is Muhammad Ali, and Summer Wars is Mike Tyson. Right?
So is Legend of the Guardians Glass Joe?
I don't know. But yeah, the Owls is not even Glass Joe. The Owls is the guy from Super Punch Out. Gabby J.
Gabby J.
Gabby J.
Yay.
Yay. All right. Oh, my news.
Yeah.
I guess I have a news. So here's an interesting thing, right? Apparently there is a French-Japanese thing going on. It's some anime paid for by France's l'Institut National de Prévention de l'Éducation, which is the National Institute
That was the best French accent I ever heard.
Preventative and Health Education. And basically they wanted to make a 10-minute don't smoke kids anime. So they got Studio 4C to do it all high quality.
Whoa.
And it's going to be pretty awesome, I imagine. I think you can actually watch it on the internet. So yeah, the complete short titled The Attraction is now available at our website. And it's got dubbed into Japanese or French. And then you get English subtitles.
Ooh.
So there you go.
It saddens me that I think I still understand French more than I understand Japanese.
What's interesting about this, right, is two things. Number one, right, is like, okay, they've got, usually stuff that's like don't smoke kids or don't do drugs is like low production value. Like, remember all those raps from the 90s that'd be like, don't do drugs. They were the lowest.
When I was in second grade,
production value.
I discovered that there was a place in the school library where you could check out, instead of a book, a movie.
Whoa.
And I was like, oh, man. And I saw this one called Fast Forward Future.
Whoa.
And I was like, this is going to be awesome. It was possibly the most pathetic anti-drug hour-long movie I've ever witnessed.
Yeah, I mean, but imagine if, say, they paid like Steven Spielberg to make an anti-drug movie, right? That would be like, no one does that, right? Everyone.
I feel like there's a joke I could make there.
Or they got actual, like, in the 70s, right?
I feel like I could have said he did. It was called and said the name of some movie. That would have been a clever joke.
What if they actually made, like, Star Wars, like as good as Episode 4, 5, 6, anti-drug movie?
Well, in Episode 1, he did say you shouldn't smoke because they were, what, cancer sticks or something?
I don't know.
Yeah.
That was Episode 1, not 4, 5, 6.
Well, I guess it wasn't Star Wars, but George
The
Lucas
thing
happened
is,
to make it.
here they basically got some of the best animes there are, right? You know, Studio 4C to work on a 10-minute long don't smoke thing. So that in alone is pretty awesome, right? The second thing that I find that's really interesting is like smoking is actually as big a problem as it is here in
in France and Japan?
France and Japan, it's the worst.
Everybody smokes.
And you can just smoke everywhere. You can smoke in your house. You can smoke in the restaurant. It makes me not want to go there.
Yeah. Even DC, apparently, you know, we were at the rally, right?
Mhm.
We went to a restaurant, and we thought it was a restaurant. They're like, smoking or not? And we're like, what? Because apparently, if it's also a bar, they can have a smoking section. So we left, and we found another restaurant.
That didn't have that?
Yeah.
All right.
We found a restaurant that wasn't a bar.
All right.
But,
It's weird in New York City. Like almost every restaurant you go to has a bar in it.
yeah.
Anyway, so what I thought was really interesting about this is, right, I was like, I'm wondering how many, because it takes a lot of people to animate something, right? So I'm like,
How many of those people were smoking the entire way through?
How many of these guys at Studio 4C who worked on this animation smoke, right? And how ironic is that these non-smoking people, these smokers made this non-smoking.
It would not be ironic
I mean, I don't
if
know
one
if-
of them quit smoking because they made this.
I don't know if any of them do or don't. You know, I mean, they could all be non-smokers. It's entirely possible. But the odds are in these countries where smoking is just so prevalent. Right?
Of course, I did read a study. I read the abstract of the study. It was a couple months ago, talking about how American cigarettes are actually particularly more dangerous than cigarettes in the entire rest of the world
Yeah.
because of the way they're made.
Well, I think part of the reason they make them that way, right, is because
Cheaper and more addictive?
cheaper, more addictive,
Oh.
and the regulation isn't there, but also because they're restricted. So, right, they're a lot less restricted in other places, right? It's not like 18 plus, right? So, if they could just sell them to kids or to younger people as they can in many other places, right? Then they wouldn't need to make them more addictive because they get you early. So you're already addicted to just the regular amount of nicotine. But
Well,
because
Japan has
they're going to get you so late, they got to up the ante to.
Japan also has the workaholic culture that I think drives the smoking pretty heavily. And
Well,
France
it's
is just,
also
France is France.
because they let people smoke anywhere, right? You're just exposed to it all the time, so it's a lot easier, right? So you got all
but
this.
that's a catch-22 because if you're exposed to it everywhere, then no individual person is going to be like, yeah, we should ban this.
Yeah, I mean, it's a whole problem, and we should just ban it outright. You should only be allowed to smoke. I mean, you should
Well,
only be allowed to smoke in your house if no one's around who doesn't consent.
I'm fine with the way New York's doing it because the new laws that
I want to
are-
get it out of the sidewalk and out of the park.
So the new laws that are basically crazily popular that are probably going to pass, also, in addition to all the existing bans in New York City, will ban smoking in boardwalks, parks, and any public plaza.
Sidewalk. It's not banned in the sidewalk.
No, it is banned within 100 feet of any door.
And no, it should be on the sidewalk. All sidewalks. Period.
Anyway.
Anyway.
So things of the day. Emily showed me this, and it was pretty badass. You can watch the whole thing on YouTube. This is a 2007 animated short by a Russian animation studio called The Dog Door.
Was the guy who made it? Is his name Sergey?
No.
Ivan?
No. That's terrible, Scott.
Gregory? Gregor?
But Animo Studios.
Rasputin?
And it's actually based on a novel, but there's 2 YouTube videos. It's like 10 minutes long. It's beautiful, and while depressing, it is as depressing as you could expect a Russian animation about dogs to be.
Does it have Pochner styling?
No, it just has a really kind of like painted. You'll see. It's a really, really
I'm
good
disappointed.
movie.
I want to see some Pochner.
It's about a bunch of dogs living, a village was destroyed, and they're kind of feral and on their own, and they're looking for the mythical dog door. That it's kind of like
Yeah, you know what? I'll tell you where the mythical dog door is. You know where it is? Chernobyl.
It's basically the Russian equivalent of a Wolf's Rain, only it does kind
Really,
of have
Wolf's
an ending.
Rain. It's not the equivalent of like All Dogs Go to Heaven. Or,
What about All Dogs Go to Heaven 2?
or what about Lady and the Tramp?
Lady and the Tramp, I think, was a good movie.
Yeah, it was good.
I haven't seen it in like 30, in like 20 years.
It's actually, I like it. What's the other ones? Whatever, I forget.
The other what's?
There were all kinds of those. Like in our day, there were like 10 different animated movies.
You mean
with
like
dogs.
the Aristocats?
No, there was one. It was like the old dog and the puppy. But they had names, and then their names were the name of the movie.
How about The Fox and the Hound?
That's a good one.
Yeah?
But no, one wasn't a fox.
Anyway, I highly recommend
the one
you
with
all
the dog with
watch
sunglasses.
The Dog Door.
All right. Oh, the dog door is a good title.
Yeah.
I like that.
It's really
How
sad.
do you say that in Paknarese?
I have no idea. I can't read Cyrillic.
I'm sorry, Paknarish people.
Lebegna, Bibikentapen, Henber, Oblino. I don't know if that's the name of it or if that's
Do you
just
want me to translate it for you?
something someone said.
No, here's what it means. Ready?
What does it mean?
Vodak.
That's terrible. It was put out by the Federal Agency of Culture and Cinematography, or we got to stop making fun of Russians. The Oepanaboho Arahitabaho no Kripotype Nen Nemekenta Torpedo.
I'm just getting back at you for Francis l'Institut National Day. So anyway, I saw a link to this early this morning, and obviously it's sold out now, but someone, Rim, when we lived in Beacon, we had one refrigerator.
We did have one refrigerator.
It had all these magnets on it.
I did.
And now we live in New York, and you know who took all the magnets?
My refrigerator doesn't even have a thing to put magnets on it.
You took all my goddamn magnets. You took the Pac-Man magnets?
Yeah, they're right here. You want them?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, you can let me have them?
I don't care.
Oh, okay. I want them, yeah. Anyway, Rim took all the magnets. So when I saw this, I was like, oh, fuck, I'm buying that. But of course, it's sold out. But anyway, you should see it.
Wait, so your thing of the day is something that everyone will want and no one will be able to get?
Hopefully, this person will make another batch.
This is very reminiscent of back in the day when we did our panel, Manga You Should Read, and we realized that 90% of it was out of print.
You can still get it. Anyway, it's on Etsy. This person named Kong's Cut made some magnets for Minecraft. It's Minecraft magnets. There's a magnet for every kind of type of tile: wood, tree, iron, stone, water,
Lava? Sheep?
lava. He doesn't have any of the animals.
Ah.
Oh, here we go. 18 stone, 8 sand and dirt, 7 leaves, 6 grass, 4 coal, 2 water, 2 clay, 2 iron, 2 tree trunks, a diamond, a redstone, a mossy cobblestone, a lava, and a gold. All right? 64 magnets in total. The price was... Did the price disappear? The shipping price was $5. I don't know what the actual item price was. Anyway, I would have paid a lot for this.
eBay.
Yeah, but basically we just got to wait for him to make another batch, and then I'll be on that. And plus his Minecraft magnet set, and it specifically says number 1, environment. So I imagine number 2 is going to be all sorts of creepers and weapons and, all that kind of stuff.
All right.
So is it, you could have a lot more fun on your fridge with this.
I want Dwarf Fortress magnets.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do.
Plus, you could always print your own magnets of this pretty easily, right? You go to any magnet printer. They're just 1 by 1 inch squares. You already have the sprites in the game. You just copy and paste them right out of there, and you're good to go. But this guy did it for you, and he seems to be, skilled at it. He knows whatever you need to know to get magnets printed properly, So,
very briefly, the meta moment. We're going to be at PAX East, PAX West, probably Anime Boston. We'll see about Otakon. MagFest!
Yes, the book club book is World War Z by Max Brooks. And we are going to talk about it on the next Thursday episode of Geeknights. However, the next week after this current week is Thanksgiving. Gobble, gobble, gobble.
And we might just put it up as its own thing. We'll see.
Yeah, we don't know. So what will happen with that episode? It will be out as the next, time we're going to do it. But will it be next Thursday? I don't know. That's Thanksgiving, so we'll see exactly when that will be. But it will be soon, so read the book.
Be it will.
Also, it's Thanksgiving. If you would like to make me a geeky cornucopia,
All right, you and the cornucopias.
I will again ask you kindly to
Do we have the fan art section up on the site to show off the old cornucopias?
Oh, no, right. I'll make it real quick. And
Yeah, because
then,
you had some good cornucopias.
there were actually really only 2 good cornucopias, and the only really good one was the one with booze coming out of it.
Oh, way to really make the person who made the other cornucopia feel bad.
Come on. You just look at him, and it's sort of obvious.
It was a good
right?
cornucopia.
It was. I don't even remember what it was. I don't remember the other one. I don't remember the boo one. So anyway, we need better and more cornucopias of geekiness. Like pretend it's Photoshop Friday and it's like Photoshop this cornucopia and add geekiness to it.
Or dicks.
Geeky dicks.
Please don't. I don't think we ever did a show on Looney Tunes.
I'm afraid we might have discussed them as part of some show.
Well, we did a show way back. We were like cartoons of our youth, but that was all He-Man, Thundercats.
I think we actually did mention Looney Tunes in it, but why the hell not devote a whole show to something so important and the other reason is not only is it very important and very awesome, I think it has actually been sort of neglected and forgotten in
Well,
the
I was
years
looking around
that
on
are
YouTube,
recent.
and many of the classics were not easily available for free just online.
No, you got to buy them on DVD, which is a lot of money.
And I was poking around Netflix, and those, and more importantly, all the old Disney equivalents, like the Donald Duck cartoons and everything.
Also really only available on DVD.
Yeah, and none of them are in the Netflix streaming.
Yeah. And I think the worst thing about it, though, is that, I mean, when we were kids, you would come home and you would watch cartoons, right? Or you'd watch cartoons on Saturday morning. And the thing was, the cartoons that you watched would change over time, right? You know, it would be Transformers and Voltron, but then it would be Thundercats. And then that Thundercats would go away, and then you'd have Pup Named Scooby-Doo. And they'd keep cycling in and out. But from the time that I was very young, like 3, to the time that, you know, pretty much my entire childhood life, till I was 18, Looney Tunes always had a time slot, whether it was Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon or ABC Saturday morning or something. There was cartoon slots, and Looney Tunes always had a spot in there somewhere. You know, pretty much after that, it was Rocky and Bullwinkle always had a slot somewhere most of the time.
I think
But
more importantly,
Looney Tunes always had a slot all the time.
when I think back to watching Looney Tunes versus other cartoons, I would never really want to watch an episode of, like, a pup named Scooby-Doo more than once.
Exactly.
Maybe I'd get stuck watching it twice because it was on and there was nothing else to do.
Yep.
But I pretty much never got sick of the good Looney Tunes.
Yeah, I mean, you could. It was reruns all the time, right? Because after a couple of years, if you were a kid, you would seen them all.
I
Like,
mean, yeah.
I've seen everything from Bosco, right, all the way through. I don't think you could find a Looney Tune all the way up to like Space Jam, right? So I don't think you could find something unless it was newer than Space Jam or older than Bosco that I have not seen. Right?
Well, I mean, it depends if we're just talking Looney Tunes, Merrie Melodies versus if you zoom out to count like the Max Fleischer stuff, Tom and Jerry
The thing
stuff,
is, we saw all
Hanna-Barbera.
Hanna-Barbera doesn't count.
No.
But the thing is, those were all in the same time slots. We saw all those as well, right?
Yeah.
Tex Avery, we saw all of it, right? You know, Tex Avery there was a Tex Avery hour on fucking Cartoon Network for the longest time.
So, Scott, because I know the answer to this, I think everyone who knows this knows the answer to this. What's your favorite Looney Tunes episode?
Oh, you're
I don't know how. I don't know how I know it, but I know.
You don't even know. You don't even know it.
No, because I know you. I wasn't gonna quote it. I was modifying it.
Oh, he's hiding in the stove. Eh?
Just the line when the dude come in.
He's not in the stove.
He'd just come in. He'd be like, "I know you've done it. I
That
don't
was
know how you've
the
done
thing
it, but
is
I
that
know you've done
wasn't
it."
that wasn't the same episode.
No, but it was the same characters.
It was the same characters. Not the thing is the episode with the stove is the superior episode to the one with the closet, right? Which is the I don't know how he's done it one.
I actually prefer that one.
No, the stove one is the best one by far. Anyway. So yeah, these things were on TV no matter what. Every kid knew them, every kid saw them, right? It was sort of like, for me, it was a lot like Batman the Animated Series, right? It's like there were it was weird. There were things that I would be really enthusiastic about, right? Like it'd be like, oh fuck yes, Thundercats, yeah. But it was only on for a short period. And meanwhile, there were things which were just always there, staples, right?
And I never got sick of them, but I also never looked forward to them. I was never
it's
like,
like,
oh shit, Bugs Bunny's coming on, but Bugs Bunny would be on and it would be awesome, always.
Yeah, and it's sort of like, it's the same thing with food, right? It's like, you know, bread is awesome, right? But you have bread every day, so it's like bread. And steak, you have like once a week, once a month, maybe, right? It's rare, but steak, you're like, oh, fuck
Well, it
yeah.
better be rare.
Right, but you're like, oh, fuck yeah, steak, right? But you're never, right? It's not until we're adults and we're wiser and we look back and we go, oh, yeah, bread. You know? It's like when you have bread every day, it's just like bread.
I think
and
part of it,
Looney Tunes is like that. It was just like Looney Tunes.
part
right?
of it with Looney Tunes is that especially, you know, the original Looney Tunes and Merrie Melodies, because, you know, they were like, quality was all over the place in those kinds of cartoons later on. Like, remember those weird, like, late 80s Tom and Jerry?
Well, Tom and Jerry isn't Looney Tunes either.
No, it isn't. But, like, just zoom in, I said those, like, that whole cartoons like that. they got into weird eras, but Looney Tunes was pretty consistent, and the early Looney
there
Tunes...
are some Looney Tunes that are not as good, but, and some of them repeat the same jokes, and you would totally see that they repeated the same joke, right?
Yep.
But, the good ones were beyond good.
I think but it was mostly that the production values were way high because those things are ancient. They were made for theaters.
That's the one thing that that was the reason that they were able to be on TV, right? For all that time is because if you looked, and it always confused the hell out of me because I was like, weren't these things made in the 40s or even older than that? And these are really old, right? But that you look at them.
They look way better than any cartoon I was watching.
And then you look at Scooby-Doo from the 60s or 70s, and you're like, why does this Scooby-Doo look like shit? And this Donald Duck cartoon from 100 years ago looks amazing, right? It's because these things are made for movie theaters, right? This is film, right? And then they were just put on TV later. Some of them were made for TV later years, but...
Well, there were also those weird... Really, they would make movie compilations of cartoons and put those on TV.
There were all kinds of different formats.
They did that with Daffy Duck and Speedy Gonzales once.
Yeah, but
it was awful.
A good number of them were actually, made for theaters, and they ran in front of actual movies. So you would go to the theater to see an actual movie, and before the actual movie started, you would see a Looney Tune, and then the movie would start, right? And nowadays, they only really do that if you go to see something like Space Jam, right? Where there's a Looney Tunes shtick going on, right? And actually, if I made movies, I'd kind of want to make movies for Warner Brothers just so I could get them to make a Looney Tune in front of every movie I make, no matter what movie it is. Not that I'm ever going to make a movie. But I really think they need to bring that back, where every movie you watch has a serial before it or something before it. We got to bring that back in a big way. It's awesome. So yeah, Looney Tunes is wicked awesome, and it's sad that it's not really I don't watch TV obviously, but I'm pretty sure they're not really on TV anymore. You have to watch the Boomerang channel to see them. I think.
I mean,
and even then, I don't know how much they're on there.
Here's my question: is that really true, or do we just not watch TV and have no idea?
I'm pretty sure that they're not on TV every single day like they were when we were kids.
Some of them are not on TV because they're little.
That was also upsetting. It's at some point during our childhoods, they took Speedy Gonzales disappeared.
Granted, I watched some Speedy Gonzales again,
and Bosco disappeared.
Pretty racist.
Yeah, but it's not bad. It's just racist.
Well, it's bad for what it is, but at the same time, you don't ban the old works just because the world sucked back then.
I know, right?
You just present them with context.
It's like Nazi Disney, right? Why are you banning that shit?
Or Song of the South.
Yeah, exactly. That's the best example.
That is a really racist movie.
Song of the South is awesome, though.
It is a good movie.
Right?
I have not seen it since I was a very young child.
I think you have to take the same approach that you take with the Tezcas and all that kind of stuff. Even Tintin, right? A lot, because Tezuka wasn't racist, but some of his depictions were racist depictions. But that's just was the style of the times. And they put a note in front of all his manga that have that, some bad stylings in it. Look, Tezuka was the exact opposite of racist, but that was the style of the time. We're not going to edit it. But why should we hide history? In fact, that would be a disservice. We need to look at the racism of the past, and that is how we know not to make that mistake again. If we just wipe it off out of history, that's even worse, right? Than making it prominent. Look at the horrible racism of the past. You need to remember that the world was that way, so we don't go back to that way. If we just erase it, it's that's not a good idea. And the thing is, even in cases with Tintin, right, where there's actually probably a reason to believe, at least some reasons to believe that, Hergé was actually kind of racist, unlike Tezuka. You still shouldn't be censoring it, Anyway. I think that you should still have Speedy Gonzales, even though he is racist.
Actually, I think one of my favorite ones overall as an adult and looking back is the killed a wabbit, killed a,
Yeah. There were certain ones that were just, the ones that you could tell they put the extra double effort into, right? The ones that stood out, right? The opera one, I forget the name of it, because it's got and you could tell they were even better animated than some of the other ones, right?
Well,
or how about the one with Porky and Daffy in the hotel and the hotel guy who wants
yes.
right? Or
that as a kid, that one kind of scared me because it was weird and like I was unnerved because a lot of the things
you wouldn't let them leave the hotel until they paid,
and a lot of the things that happen, like it's interesting watching old cartoons like that or like the ones that are set on farms where they kind of assume a lot of knowledge in the viewers about farm life or about the way the world worked back then that just doesn't apply at all anymore.
Well, I mean, it's weird because on the one hand,
that hotel manager scared the crap out of me when I was a kid.
Some of the Looney Tunes stand up so well because they are timeless, right? But some of them actually are not timeless, right? Like a lot of them will make jokes about famous people from a zillion years ago.
But at the same time,
that I get the jokes, but a lot of people don't.
At the same time, look at a lot of those old cartoons. It wasn't until like in the last several years that I actually learned who Peter Lorre was. But I recognized Peter Lorre through most of my life because it was that face and that voice in the cartoons.
Yeah, but I mean,
how many kids, even when we were kids, knew who Groucho Marx was, and yet they found Bugs Bunny hilarious?
Yeah, there are thousands of Groucho Marx references in there, like all the time, right?
Also, note how Bugs Bunny was kind of metrosexual, a little weird.
And a jerk?
Yeah, cross-dresser.
The thing is, Bugs Bunny, I don't know how he became, like, the primary guy, right? It's like you look at Disney and Mickey Mouse is the number one guy. But you know how he became the number one guy is because he was the first guy, not because they used him a lot or anything like that. It's because he was the first guy, right? You look at like Marvel Comics, right? Why is Spider-Man the guy? It's actually Fantastic Four was the first guys, right? Spider-Man was after that. But it was, Spider-Man was the one that was the huge hit. Right, but it's like was Bugs Bunny the first?
Yeah,
not really. No, they were making cartoons before they came out.
They were
with
making
Bugs
cartoons,
Bunny.
but I thought we were just talking about Looney Tunes.
Yeah, there were Looney Tunes with other non-Bugs Bunny characters before.
Well, Bosco, yeah,
and even there were other ones, right? He was not the very first one. Was not Bugs Bunny, right? I'm pretty sure of that. And on top of that, was Bugs Bunny really the big hit?
I think so.
Because, if he was the hit, I'm like, wow, because he was the hit with another generation, right? Not our generation. Because Bugs Bunny was not my favorite guy.
Who's your favorite guy?
Neither was Daffy Duck. My favorite guy?
I really like Daffy Duck because he was such just a goddamn asshole, but he wasn't funny about it like Bugs Bunny. He was just a jerk, but he was also crazy.
Well, the thing was, right, is like...
It's kind of like an early rendition of Lewis Black in duck form.
I don't know, in terms of like, the coolness of the characters
he also
themselves, right? Like Marvin the Martian is like a cool character, like, design and such. But in terms of like the cartoon, like if you took all of the cartoons, involve it, and averaged them together, I like the Roadrunner ones. It was like above average every time, where some of the other ones, like a Porky Pig, it could be up, it could be down, right? Some of them were better than others, but any Roadrunner is like solid.
There were later Roadrunners that were actually pretty crappy.
What do you mean, like late? What do you mean? They were all the same joke every time.
Yeah, and then they started moving. Like when they started, they could like the Wile E. Coyote would talk.
That was only one episode where he talked.
And honestly,
that I remember.
I never found the ones between Wile E. Coyote and the sheepdog to be that funny.
No, the sheepdog one were not good. I'm only talking about the Roadrunner one.
Okay, so just the Roadrunner.
Yeah.
Then we're good.
Yeah.
I actually have this like 5-foot tall stuffed Wile E. Coyote from like the 50s that was my dad's.
Oh, really? Well,
yeah.
And which one did you like, you really did not like and do not want?
Did not like and did not want. There were the ones that were on TV all the time that as much as I liked them, I just didn't want to watch them again, which usually was the Wile E. Coyote Roadrunner ones.
Really?
Like, they would just always be on, and I'd seen the one where Bugs Bunny just tortures that opera singer like 100 times. It was great. But I'd seen the Roadrunner ones like a million times.
Really? The ones that I don't like are the, what's the stupid rooster's name?
Really? Foghorn Leghorn?
Yeah, I don't like Foghorn
Leghorn.
Leghorn.
I love him.
No,
those are great.
No.
And the Chicken Hawk?
Some of the Foghorn Leghorn
now,
ones.
now see here.
No, see,
see here.
The ones where he tortures the dog, right? It was like the joke where he like would trick the dog into bumping into the fence. That was good. But like, when he was talking, it's just like, oh God, shut up.
I liked that.
No, I can't stand him. No, he's no good.
It was a good joke. It was a good shtick.
No. And actually, some of the ones that I did like were the Yosemite Sam on the boat with the where they made the powder room joke.
No, I think
and
most
then
people
also the Foreign Legion joke.
I think most people have not seen those as they were originally made because a lot of those were added into those shitty compilation movies like Donald Duck and Speedy Gonzales' Magic
it was
Island.
actually weird, right? Because like to actually see the Yosemite Sam on the boat or Yosemite Sam in the Foreign Legion, the only place or like even some of the Tasmanian Devil ones, right? The only time I ever saw those was on the ABC Saturday morning. You know, like those ones, right? I never saw those on Nickelodeon. They might have been on there at some point, but I don't remember seeing them on Nickelodeon or on Cartoon Network. I only saw them on ABC Saturday morning. So it's like they were special, like higher production cost ones or something like that, or newer, or I don't know why they were only on that channel, but at least in my day, they were only on that channel. Can you think of any others that we may have neglected?
I mean, I can think of a million. I think it's more... I don't know. I feel I really have this urge to watch not just Looney Tunes, but like the old Disney, like Donald Ducks and Chip and Dale and all that kind of old anime. You know, how many of those have you even seen?
Well, I think they're just first.
Do you remember
of
the
all,
one where Donald Duck wins a car?
They're just not as good as Looney Tunes. First of all,
I disagree. Donald Duck once made Huey, Dewey, and Louie smoke cigars until they almost died.
Yeah,
it was hilarious.
it's not as they're not as good. First of all, right, and. The other thing with them is that, they didn't have the same, the production values were not quite as high. And they were also, a lot of them were made for like, to buy on home video. And like the Goofy Sports was like, buy this on VHS. It's like.
The Goofy Sports, however, were brilliant.
Yeah, and they were all right, but it's like nobody bought those on VHS.
I did.
Only you, right?
Yeah, we had them all. In those huge, like, old school clam cases.
Yeah, those big plastic clamshell things.
Yeah.
Like nobody, so they had a lot less reach than the Looney Tunes are just on all the time, and the Looney Tunes really, the thing about it, having something that's good, that's on all the time, that just everyone watches without sort of realizing that they're a fan of it because it's not their focus, I think really helps to bring people together,
More so than an individual thing that's very popular among pop culture people. I mean, American Idol is stupidly popular, but if you don't care about stupid things, you're not connected to that at all.
Yeah, but having something that just everyone watches that's below the radar, but is just, pervasive, right? It's like, very...
Well, for a long time, The Simpsons was like that.
Exactly, right? It's like... it brings people together much better than, anything that's stupidly popular is going to be divisive, actually, right? It's going to be like, if you try talking about it, someone's either going to be your best friend or they're going to be your worst enemy. But Looney Tunes, everyone is just going to be your regular friend. It's not going to make anyone your best friend.
They're going to be like, think of the children. Bugs Bunny is a violent, cross-dressing homosexual.
There's only a very few people who are that crazy, right? Because at the point we are now, right? Because remember, think about it. Looney Tunes is so old, even old people watched it. Even the old people grew up on it.
Actually, I will say this. I actually never liked Speedy Gonzales.
Really?
I just didn't find him funny.
I mean, he wasn't as funny as the other ones, but he was all right.
But my favorite episode ever, other than him torturing the opera guy, and I just suddenly remembered it, like out of nowhere. This is one of those where the brain like suddenly found a reference, was, ha, turn, Duck, Perry. You remember that one?
Yeah, that's all right. Actually, you know what? I never understood Sylvester and Tweety, really.
Really?
Most of them, I mean, they were just sort of average always, That was never really like, oh, yeah. I was like, oh, okay. Why didn't Roadrunner come on? Why is another Sylvester? And it seemed like there were just so many of them, Like it would always be Sylvester.
See, I always saw the same one over and over again.
And
it
was
the
always...
one where Sylvester and Tweety and the dog are all in the hospital with broken legs, and the lady's trying to take care of them, and they keep trying to like kill each other from each other's beds.
Yeah, but there's also...
Because that one was part of one of those stupid compilation movies, and it was always on.
Yeah, that was an okay one, but I mean, there was the...
Think about that. They're trying to murder each other in a hospital.
But there were some other ones that would be like, it'd be the same thing every time. Just it was like, okay, now we're in the house in the winter, and Tweety's in the birdcage, Sylvester's trying to eat him. And now we're in the house in the suburbs, and now we're in a different house. And now the dog is there, but now the dog isn't there. And now there's a mouse involved, and it was just the same. I was not, on with that.
I always wanted Sylvester to win because I didn't like Tweety.
That's another thing, right? It's like you actually look at it, and it's like, is Elmer Fudd really a bad guy? he's just a hunter. He's just hunting. He's not any worse than any other hunter.
No, he's kind of dopey.
He's dopey. But Bugs Bunny was actually a jerk, right?
See, at least Bugs Bunny, I can understand why he'd be a jerk to Elmer Fudd.
And
because Elmer Fudd
sometimes-
is trying to kill him.
but sometimes-
that opera episode, Bugs Bunny is just like he basically tortures that guy to insanity.
Yeah,
for
it's
no
like
reason.
sometimes he's trying to kill him, but even then, sometimes Bugs Bunny starts getting his revenge even before he's trying to kill him. Or he'll plus that gun never killed anyone. It just makes you look like, you got exploded or whatever. So it's like you're basically just forcing the other guy to get shot with it. Some of it actually was just sort of cruel. And I guess, the ones that like the ones I like the most, the mafia one, it was actually like, look, these are bad mafia guys. It was actually, there wasn't really any cruelty. And he got them in a very clever way.
Well, like Wile E. Coyote, who were you really rooting for? You wanted him to get the stupid Roadrunner.
I mean, he was hungry, right? And the Roadrunner was just a bird. It wasn't, that ran around really fast. And it's like, wow, if you can catch that fucking thing, you deserve it. Look how fast the thing's going. Oh.
I think we're done here. I mean, the only moral of this episode is that if you haven't actually seen,
if you're younger than us, that means that and you or maybe it means either A, you don't really watch TV because the days of TV are over, or B, Looney Tunes just weren't pervasive throughout all, people as they were in our day or the days before us. But it's like, I feel like we should keep that thing alive because if we can keep that going, that's even older than The Simpsons, right? This is decades and decades old. The Simpsons is only
think
couple.
about that. It's older than The Simpsons.
It's like 3 or 4 times older than The Simpsons, right? So,
and it's all on Pirate Bay.
yeah, if we can keep it going, right, and make sure that it's in everyone's consciousness, it's in everyone's brain somewhere, that can be, just what we need. There always has to be something. It doesn't matter if it's Looney Tunes or something else that everyone has in their culture that is
What if
shared.
it was a belief in rationality and the beauty of science?
That would be good too.
That'd be good too.
Good luck with that. That's a lot newer than Looney Tunes.
This has been Geeknights with Rim and Scott. Special thanks to DJ Pretzel for the opening music, Kat Lee for web design, and Brando K for the logos.
Be sure to visit our website at frontrowcrew.com for show notes, discussion, news, and more.
Remember, Geeknights is not 1, but 4 different shows. Sci-Tech Mondays, Gaming Tuesdays, Anime Comic Wednesdays, and Indiscriminate Thursdays.
Geeknights is distributed under a Creative Commons Attribution 3.0 license. Geeknights is recorded live with no studio and no audience. But unlike those other late shows, it's actually recorded at night. Like, if you had a DS inside the cornucopia and on the DS there was a penis, that would be awesome.